She's back. Chiquita Davis, the woman behind our second most downloaded episode of all time, returns to Mystical Sisterhood. If you haven't heard the energetics of Reiki yet, go find it right now. And if you have, you already know why we had to bring her back. Chiquita is the founder of Embrace Your Journey, a holistic healing studio just outside Chicago, and a second-degree Reiki master teacher. She moves through the world with a kind of love that's rare, the kind you feel before she even speaks. Today, we go deep, Reiki, energy healing, what actually happens in a session, and why this ancient practice might be one of the most important gifts available to us right now. I'm your host, Maureen Spielman, and I'm so glad that you're here. Let's get into it. All right, welcome back to Mystical Sisterhood. Today, I am with Chiquita Davis, who was with us in year one. And I had called that episode The Energetics of Reiki. And so yesterday, I was looking at all these past episodes, and I'm working on creating a bundle of episodes that I'll just have put together for maybe listeners who haven't been around for long and they want to kind of like do a dive into like what this is all about. So, can you believe that you are the second most downloaded episode of all time? I didn't tell you that before we recorded because it is behind Julie Pyatt, and she did one on, I can't even remember, spiritual something, but the energetics of Reiki was number 2 in downloads all time. So let's just begin.
Thank you.
Yes, I think it's so exciting.
I'm just like emotional, speechless, all of the above. Like, what?
Yes. So lots has changed. And your episode, and then the woman that's going to be on next week, Steph Radke, you are repeats. And I haven't done that often, but I think it was time that you came back. We will do sort of a refresher on Reiki. And then to the listener, if you know me, you know, I like to talk. If you know me personally, you know, I like to talk. But Chiquita and I were just kind of like talking about so many different subjects before we recorded. And I'm like, we've got to record. We've got to hit record.
Yeah.
We'll never get anywhere. So welcome back. It's so wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you are so welcome. So I want to say about Chiquita first is that, you know, if you want to learn more sort of how she got started, and I think the backstory, listen to that for that episode that was from a few years ago. I'll link it in the show notes. But your studio is called Embrace Your Journey. You're a second-degree Reiki master teacher, and then also work in the fields of holistic health, meditation, intuition, and you know, it says on your Instagram account, love. And I just want to say that that's how I experience you, that you are an ambassador of love, you are a representer of love. And when I was just thinking about you, it's like almost like an earth angel quality. But how beautiful that you ended up doing energy work, just given who you are.
Yes. Yeah. And I love it.
Yeah. And you love it. So as a refresher, I do have some Reiki questions today. And you know what? I think that I will name this the energetics of Reiki part 2, because what that tells me about your title, that we titled it the first time, people are interested. And I'm wondering, what's your sense of that, like in terms of growing interest for the field of Reiki? Do you see any changes within that, even in the last few years?
Absolutely. I've seen that more people are looking for holistic ways to help heal, and not just heal, but improve their daily life and improve just the way that they're able to show up, improve the way that they're able to cope. So I found that more and more people are gravitating towards Reiki once they have a very clear understanding of what it is, and then experience of how it can help them. I think the first podcast, Energetics of Reiki, did that. I think it really helped people have a clear understanding of what Reiki is and how it can help them. And I think it just resonated with a lot of people. And so a lot of people that were booking would mention, I listened to the podcast, and it's just been a very great resource to have, to say,
Mhm.
you want to know a little bit about Reiki, you want to know a little bit about me, and
Yeah,
everything, then go check out the energetics of Reiki. So
it's
thank you.
beautiful.
But
Yeah.
and thank you for that opportunity to, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like with you and I turned to you. I found you when I was going through my own health healing journey. And it's like if you open up the door, it's just like that tiny crack of a door opening to be
Mhm.
curious about something that you've never tried. I was thinking about questions and one was like what holds people back from trying Reiki
Mhm.
because it's actually not that far out there. But if you don't understand it, often people just relegate it to something that's not mainstream.
Right.
And so therefore it's risky in some way
Mhm.
or it might
Mhm.
be harmful. I don't know how people think of it, but I guess a lot is just the absence of not really knowing about it or growing
I
up
think
in.
that's it. I think maybe some misinformation
Mhm,
as well. But also, I think it is also about the person and the connection. And I think that one thing that may hold people back is finding someone that connects with them, that
mhm.
resonates with them. I think
So
that that's it. And I think what else holds people back? Fear,
fear, the
fear of the unknown.
yeah, the unknown, right?
Yeah,
And
really fear of the unknown. But
yeah.
again, as time has progressed, I've seen more and more people are really gravitating towards it.
So there's something happening right now, and it's kind of a funny interface, right? Because before we recorded, we were talking about sort of things that are out there in the collective that distract us or the technology taking hold. But I this is an ancient mystical art, Reiki.
Yeah,
And these arts, like you're saying, are coming, therapies, they're coming back online. And
absolutely.
when I asked you, Chiquita, is there anything you want to address today? The only thing you said that you really wanted to address is why it's beneficial to humanity at this time.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because we are being completely overloaded. Okay. So, we're in a collective trauma. We're still recovering from the previous tragedy, basically. And we're recovering from the previous tragedy, but we haven't recovered,
Mm.
but we're still in it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we haven't recovered, and people are still trying to cope as if they're in it. Like our system hasn't noticed the change. Our systems are still being pushed to a state where we're not conditioned to be able to survive or thrive
Mhm.
with all the angst, the trauma, with the violence, like we were saying, with the technology, all of it.
Yeah, I think you just used the word nervous system, the 2 words nervous system, but I'm seeing someone laying on your Reiki table, receiving Reiki, and that not only brings them back into the body, um,
Right. It
and
calms the nervous system.
it calms the
Okay.
nervous system, and we're needing that big time. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely,
Mhm,
because when
mhm.
the nervous system and the parasympathetic system and all of that starts to get out of whack, it's difficult to recover. It's
Yes.
difficult, for our bodies to just regenerate, go
Mm,
into a relaxed state. How can you think? It's hard to think,
yeah,
when
mm,
your nervous system is in fight, flight, or fawn, or
yeah,
when you are feeling constantly attacked. Okay.
absolutely.
And
Yeah,
and and that is what a lot of things that are going on in our society today, that's what's happening. It really feels, when I work on people, I can feel that they have just felt like they have been under attack. Even if
mhm.
their mind doesn't feel that way, I can feel it in the body, I can feel it in the energy body. And people are waking up to the fact that we are not just our physical bodies.
Yes, that's true
Okay.
too.
So I
Mhm.
think, going back to that question of like what holds people back, that the understanding, okay, that we are an energetic body as well as a physical body. I used to make a joke with my students about, a chakra isn't a religion.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, right. Like, no, but the chakra
Yeah.
system, it's not a religion.
Mhm.
It's a fact. It's like
Mhm.
saying, you have a liver.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. You have a
Yes.
pancreas. You have a heart. We have energetic anatomy just as we have physical anatomy. Okay.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
I think that people need a more grounded perspective. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Sometimes we need a more grounded perspective or understanding of how Reiki can help me. Because I'm afraid. I'm afraid that you're talking about this energy work. And what if you do something crazy? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I think coming from, well, first, we have energetic anatomy, like people learning
Mhm.
that a chakra or an energy channel or point within the physical body relates to the energetic body. That we
Mhm.
have an aura. These are, or a biofield. It
Right.
is measurable.
Yes. So science supports that, right? We
Absolutely.
do have science that supports it. And if you think about our educational system in the US, that's where both of you and I were raised, it's like nowhere in anything is energy mentioned unless it was a science experiment about
No.
like, so this whole thing, then we start hearing things like everything is energy. We might hear about the chakras, but we didn't have the
Right.
experience of anyone who was an expert or an authority or even had a scientific degree around it and understood it teaching us in mainstream school. So I think that's
Mhm.
the thing is we see parts of society fall apart that's where these
Mhm.
things are being ushered back in, and that makes me super excited for a practitioner like yourself or anybody who's doing this kind of like what would be considered ancillary work, like, no, 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 everything is having a seat at the table now. And what does that
Right.
look like for healing of humanity when it all has a seat at the table?
Well, with Reiki, I feel like it helps you get back into your body.
Mhm.
It helps you be more present. It
Mhm.
helps you show up, okay? And when you just have those few things, right? When you
Yeah.
can think better, fully show up,
Mhm.
fully be in your body, present, focused, that's pretty powerful as well, right?
Mhm.
You're
Mhm.
able to then, figure life out. You're able to connect with things, find other things that support your life.
And is that because when you're doing the energetic work on somebody, you're in their energy field and then you're feeling blocks and you're feeling clearings? And is there something about the energetics of that that almost like connect us more to the quantum field? Is that why we're feeling more resourced or relaxed?
Yes.
Okay. Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. So when our energy is more stressed, okay, and weighed down, not clear, trauma, drama consuming us, then
Mhm.
it's really difficult to connect, let's even say, to the quantum field. It's almost as if you're more cut off and you're more susceptible to influences,
Okay. Mhm. Yes.
negative,
Mhm.
positive, but
Mhm.
usually it's heavier. It's heavy. It's like you do attract heaviness, but it's not about just attracting, it's you're on that frequency and vibration. So Reiki is able to help start to clear some of that, right? Also getting you more grounded in your physical body. Some people don't feel like, if you've been through illness, if you've been, I'm trying to find like an appropriate way to say it, but like if you've been physically violated, thank you, spirit. That's how spirit does it, right? If
Mhm.
you physically violated, and there's so many other things, right? It cannot feel safe to be in your body,
Right, yeah.
right?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
that may be so ingrained that it's beyond the thoughts, that it's within the cells.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
with
Mhm.
that is beyond just the mind. It's ingrained in just how you show up. So
So
if you can start to feel that your body is a safe place and that you and your body work together, your body works for you, works with you,
mhm, mhm,
right?
mhm,
Then you can see, then you're able to start the healing process,
yeah, I love that. I love
right?
that. Yeah.
It makes you even more. Okay, so there's this concept in Reiki where it says that when you get Reiki, Reiki helps accelerate the healing process. Okay, so that is how, when you are clearer, more balanced, okay, more connected, right, to the quantum field, the divine quantum field, you are able to choose things and
Mhm,
connect with things that
mhm,
positively support the healing journey, that continue to support the healing journey, and
mhm.
you receive it better,
Okay. I love
right?
that.
So, like
Mhm,
therapy, let's say talk therapy.
mhm,
I think your talk therapy is more effective because you are present and you are here and you are able to be even more engaged in and connected to what you need. But we don't know always like what we need because we're so out of our body. And it's about, because we live in a society that says, think outside yourself. Think
absolutely.
outside yourself and look outside yourself
Mhm,
for what
mhm.
you need.
Yeah.
You want somebody to cheer you up, you want somebody to do this, you want somebody to, you want that, then that's how you acquire that. Not by going inward, which is the true way that you can create the change that you need. We are not taught to go inward.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
it's
that's
so
the other
right.
part. We're
Mhm,
not taught to look
mhm.
at how we are affecting our environment.
I was with a friend the other day who was on the precipice of 60, and she said, "Can you believe, like, I haven't figured this out?" And it was like a part of herself, like, a going inward, or it was really, like, about self-care. And I go, yeah, I can believe it because most people are starting the work. They're realizing it in their 40s. Maybe they start doing it in their 50s. And I'm hoping that younger generations, that is a benefit of like social media and some things they're seeing, is that where our generations were not exposed as early as they are, these tools are being put out there. So I have a feeling that there will be a shift and a change, but being in the
There
body,
is.
saying. Yeah, you're seeing
My
it too?
student, my
Mhm.
Reiki students have gotten younger. Okay.
Ah,
They keep me young. They have, that's why I know how to say it's a vibe. No,
yes, that's
no, but
exciting.
it really
Mhm,
is. And
mhm.
working with younger students is just really so insightful because
Yeah,
they are really connected.
yes.
And to, like, I'm saying 22, I have
Mhm.
students who are 22, 21.
Wow,
Like,
that's cool. Mhm,
yeah, I mean,
mhm.
yeah, I love my 20 students, and
Yeah,
I
and
love
then
everybody's at a different stage.
mhm,
And
mhm,
I see that the youth are seeking direction,
mhm.
but also answers and clear direction and
Yeah,
understanding. They're
yeah,
not a very metaphorical. They don't, yeah, metaphors. No, just give it to me straight. Like
right.
they want to know, like, just tell me what that metaphor means,
Yes.
how I can apply it to my life. So that's what
So
I'm saying.
since you are a teacher and you are a practitioner, how do
Mhm.
you most love to take care of your energy, and sort of what are things that you have in practice in your days? I don't know if you have
For
non-negotiables
myself.
that looks, yeah, for yourself to be that clear
Oh,
vessel, you know?
oh, okay. I do self Reiki every day.
Mhm.
Okay. When do I do it? I do some in the morning and then I do some midday. Okay.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
I do my own in the morning. And then I have a little chihuahua, Lulu, who's 14. And so she has to get her Reiki in as well. So we have quiet time.
Mm. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I need that quiet time to do the Reiki and to just kind of like replenish, clear others' energies off of me, clear my energy,
Mhm.
get more grounded, get more just settled. I go into nature. I've been doing yoga.
Mhm.
Okay. And yoga really helps me. just kind of get out of my head. Because when you like teach, and it's a lot of chatter, and I always have a lot of chatter, in my head anyway. So the yoga really helps. Just, so one thing you said before we started recording was creating your environment so it is conducive to supporting you in the work that you do. So
Mhm.
that's all been the journey that I'm on. So
Okay.
I just really like peace and quiet, and I really just try to continue to usher that in, but it also starts with me.
Mhm.
Right. So that's
Mhm.
what we're talking about, duh. But yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I just try to set up. I think at this point, my life is set up in a way that it is supporting my work.
exactly. And it needs
Yeah.
to be, right? And also when you see that that's what you're also here to teach and embodiment, like we're in a big phase of embodiment.
Mhm.
And I think when I was mentioning to you before we recorded that I'm really looking at what my values are, what I want to experience and accomplish in a sense. Like I don't
Yeah.
use that word accomplish that often, but I do. There's certain things with my business and that I want to
Yeah.
experience. And but I can't do that if my structures are not set up around me, and if I'm still sort of like I was talking to a friend of mine about where do I leak energy still, and where are like, even though my awareness is online, my behaviors and embodiment haven't yet, like, clicked into place, and I think this year of the fire horse is a big year for
Mhm.
us to see those parts of, like, wait a minute, like I'm saying one thing, but then I haven't lived by it. I haven't like set things up so I can really focus on what matters most. So I really respect how you know about yourself now. Like peace and quiet is my way to go. And we're always like pressured to be social or like if we're quieter that it's not enough and everything. And it's like, well, that's what you need. And that's where you're gonna function and show up best is if you take care of yourself in that way. So I think it's
Yeah.
just nothing's more important.
Well, I think like I was pushed really through Reiki, through my
Mhm,
Reiki practice on others and myself
mhm,
to I was really pushed to make that happen. And another thing is relationships and connections.
mhm,
Okay. So working on, for me, I've been really working on, relationships, connections,
mhm,
and just my own personal healing. So I even do therapy. I do therapy, you
mhm,
know, it's really the more I have chosen this practice, the more I have been pushed into my own personal growth. And
So
so I have to grow if I'm going to continue to hold space
yes, and
and
expand,
serve for
and
others because
yeah,
people can
if
see when it's not genuine or
right,
authentic and when you are not practicing what
mhm,
you are speaking.
totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we know it too, right? So it's
right.
like, okay, but I love how you're pulling in so many different modalities. I just thought, do you feel that you chose Reiki or Reiki chose you?
Oh, both. Look, Reiki taught me what a choice was. Reiki taught me that I had a choice in life. Okay,
Mm, mhm,
really.
mhm.
And I think it was the first thing that I chose, not that I felt like I had to do because I need to survive, or I need to do this, or I need to look like this, or whatever.
Yeah,
No, it
that's
was like
powerful.
we chose each other. And that feels so good.
Oh, it feels so good, and it's
It
so
really does. It's like, okay, so I chose this and
yeah,
it chooses me. Because
mhm,
every time I say, oh, I want to, maybe incorporate something a little different in my life to do this, to do that. No, Reiki
mm,
Spirit says, no,
it's a
this is
clear
what you're
path.
going to, if you wanted to do this next week, I'm sorry, you're going to have 10 clients. So you're too busy.
Right.
I'm like,
And, like, have you had those parts of yourself? Like, I'm not sure what you mean by, like, when something else is calling you, but I know on my path that I've thought like, "Oh, I need another certification or I need another thing," but sometimes what we've studied and what we're getting good at is enough. And, yeah, maybe we wanna, like, have, like, a little
yeah,
addendum to what that is, but it's enough. it's enough. So you in the purity of Reiki as an art and practice is, and then you just get better and better and better at it. And
Yeah.
you can hold a bigger container for it, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But if we as practitioners continue to use it on ourselves and our environment, we grow. I feel like we can grow exponentially. Not just help others, but like help ourselves so we can help others.
Yeah, that's big work. That emanates far and wide when we do that.
I'm
Mhm.
sorry, as I've grown, I've realized that this is big work, or this is,
Yeah.
this is work. Like it takes dedication and
Mhm.
commitment.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I don't mean just to like, oh, the business.
Yeah. Well, and it's a really cool profession too, because it's anytime you can support another being in their expansion, their peace, their harmony, their ascension, whatever you want to call it, that is mighty work. And it's
Yeah.
beautiful. And that's like when I was calling you an ambassador of love, I think that's the
Thank
frequency also of peace and harmony. We were talking about frequencies we put out into the world. Like
Yes.
that's, I would imagine that somewhere in your knowing of like why, if you think about that question, like, what's my soul up to in this human form, in this life right now? What would you say? Like, what do you think you're up to?
I think my soul has agreed to some things that I may have not, that I don't know about in my mind. My soul is up to taking on the challenge of like being a divine co-creator.
Mm,
And maybe, yeah. And then my soul is up to being an ambassador of love in this time and space and way. I think that
and it,
everything that I've experienced from birth to now, right,
yes,
makes up a lot of my soul work. There's no coincidence of what I'm trying to say is like everything that makes up me, right? Where I come from, what I've experienced and so on and so forth. I'm supposed to show up in this way.
yes,
This is the I like my soul chose divine guidance because that's all I'm talking about. My soul chose to be divinely guided by any means necessary, and I am okay with that. That's my
well,
answer. Okay,
I
but
like your,
really,
yeah.
I
Mhm.
feel like I'm like a soldier of love, a soldier of like the divine. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not like outward, like, oh, let me, it's not so outward as it is, I don't know, like inward. And inward meaning where I am right now
mhm, mhm,
is
mhm,
where I'm supposed to be. Who I
yeah,
reach, how I reach is all a part of my soul's mission contract to be a divine emissary of light
mm, mhm, yeah.
on the earth in this time.
Yes. And if you are claiming that, and this is for anybody listening, if you see yourself in what Chiquita just shared, and you know your mission is of like to what she is sharing, claim it, and be it, because those are the beacons of truth. I set the intention before this episode that it'd be vibrant and magnetic. And I asked you that question and you took the helm or the stage and you answered it. And nothing can be more important than that either. I mean, I've got a lot of things in that category, but like
Yeah,
women claiming, humans claiming their light, their love, their resources to make this world a brighter, more harmonious place is like, that is of top priority right now. It just is. Mhm.
exactly. I do think that's of top priority, because this is how you spread that light,
Mhm.
by first being a light, addressing your shadow. And when you are addressing your shadow, you're able to show up like just more grounded, not engaging. If you don't mind, I'm going to give you an example. I was
Sure.
at the store the other day
Mhm.
and a lady comes around. This lady comes around. I feel like she's like just showed up like, and she was like, what? How long has this man been up here? It was his turn. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, because see, I've worked on my patience as well, right?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
So for me, I was just like, this is his time. I'm doing what I got to do. Where is this? But it was like straight up, like, not hello, ma'am, not excuse me. It was like, what is he doing and why is he taking so long? And
Yes.
I was just like, oh, ma'am. Okay. And then she's like, well, I'm just in a bad mood. And I said, well, I'm going to have to move away because I really don't want to catch it. And I was serious. I also feel like if negativity can speak to me that way, I'm going to speak to negativity very candid as well.
I love it. Yes. Why is that allowed to take up all the airspace without having a partner to meet it? Right. And
Right.
that's you standing for the energy you're trying to live in and you're representing. So I love that
Yeah.
because I feel like it's one of the ways, like when I use that term, like energy leaks before, is like an old version of you, an outdated version may have been like, "Oh, I can't believe he's taking so long." But it's like, "Oh
And
no."
got on the bandwagon. Yeah.
Totally. And it's
Right.
just this, I mean, it's the smallest of conversations, right? That really can move the dial. And that's what I'm really interested in too, because I think it's the one thing that keeps me going forward is I still unequivocally know that production of this podcast is my path because there's been very few times in now going into this fourth year where I'm like, have had any doubts or anything like that. And I think that that also is if you have something pulling you forward, like Reiki has been for you, and it's sort of unequivocal, keep going. If it's possible for you, keep going, keep following. This is the work of consciousness. This is the work of consciousness
Absolutely.
rising on the planet, whether it's Reiki. Like when I think about, your clients coming to you, I think also about the art of acupuncture and just like how they share those qualities of getting back in
Absolutely.
the body, of like moving, of like you just put something on your Instagram about all the different like words for, I think,
Yes.
energy, like chi.
Yes.
How do you
Chi. Okay.
chi?
So chi,
Yeah,
chi,
yeah.
prana, they
Prana.
all mean life force energy.
Mhm,
Life force energy, that unseen force, is what keeps us alive. If
mhm.
we did not have ki, prana, we would not be alive.
Yeah, it can be very
Anytime.
helpful to think about like what feeds my life force energy and what takes it away. And right there, that choice point.
Right. But see, when you are in more like connected to yourself, then
Mhm.
you can start to look at what drains you. And everything is not so adversarial as it becomes more of a, again, a choice.
Yeah, really
Like, and
important.
empowering you that you have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And,
sometimes
and
I think we don't have a choice. We might be stuck in this or stuck in these ways, stuck in this thinking, stuck in this cycle of being.
yeah.
And one other thing Reiki has helped me learn is it has expanded my knowledge and awareness of our energetic body. And so I've learned that there is a point in our body that holds our inherited genetic information.
Does it have a location?
Yes. Okay. Yes. So it's two finger widths below the belly button.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not a chakra. Just call it a point, right?
Okay.
It's a
Mhm.
point, one of the first points that we are born with that that is, let's say, encoded with our inherited genetic information.
Yeah. Blow me
How?
away.
Right. Okay. Jing. It's called a jing. And or the hara.
I've heard of the
Or
Hara Center. Yes, that's what
yes,
I was
the
gonna ask.
hara.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
can be called the dantian, the tantian. But the one way you can change that the energy in that point is by bringing in pure, fresh chi.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, so
Mhm.
chi unaffected by like just our daily lives. And one thing that I've learned is that Reiki can do that.
That's cool. Yeah.
Reiki
Mhm.
can bring in a refreshed new chi energy from source.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
that's why we have all these other modalities, ancient. Okay. I would like to make that point that these are ancient. So they definitely have worked,
Oh, yeah.
right?
right? It's before
Right.
anything
It's
else
like,
existed. Yeah.
this is ancient medicine. So
Mhm.
qigong, tai chi,
Mhm.
those are all things to help get your chi moving, but
Mhm.
also bring in fresh chi.
That's such a great point. And then does that allow, because when you're describing that part of our body,
Mm-hmm.
they say that the womb is our center for not just like our like sensuality, sexuality, but our creativity and life force energy. And if
Yes.
that's blocked, then we are not probably expressing to the degree that we're here to express. So that I feel
Absolutely.
like part of that as
But
well.
the but also the gene, okay, the
Mhm,
inherited genetic information, it's really okay. Sometimes, you might have things where we're like, why can't I just change this in my life? We don't know that it might be coming from some genetics that we inherited, okay? Genetic information that we inherited. So that is beliefs. That could be an illness. That could be beliefs. That could be patterns.
mhm.
That could be genetic inherited.
Yeah, it's important to look at
Yeah,
that too.
ancestors.
I
Yeah.
I I think it's so important to look at because as humans, we can be really hard on ourselves and
Yes.
say like, why is it like that? Why
Mhm.
doesn't it change? Why? And understanding that we are carrying genetic and lineage and ancestral kind of patterns that it's
Yes.
like not our fault because I think that
Right.
there's something about that conditioning around, this is your fault and you have to own it, that it's like, well, wait a minute. That's just a way to keep us hard on ourselves. And that's what we're here to overcome as well. Any
You're
kind
right.
of shame or guilt or all the things. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
powerful. Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for mentioning that. I love it.
Yeah.
And I would say too, just to, for anyone who's listened today, and I think that you might be, someone who's tried Reiki. If you haven't, and even if you're local and are kind of like right outside of Chicago area to see Chiquita, is that it kind of speaks for itself. And it's the kind of thing that someone can tell you what it is and how it will benefit and all those good things. But until you experience it and you experience the relaxation, you experience energy moving, you experience like a warmth to it. I think there's just like a quality to it. And you
Hmm.
and you kind of like participate in the experience and then when you leave you're so incredibly relaxed, and I want to say that Chiquita does receive guidance and information which she is kind of, I think, receiving during your session.
Hmm.
And I mean, one of the funnest parts in a way is when you leave and if a person's open to what you got in the session. And, I found that anytime that you said, this is what I got, it was synchronous with something that had happened or was relatable in my life. And then you walk away knowing that something greater is at play, something than what we were raised to believe. And that right there is just like your shoulders drop and you relax and you sink into the beauty of life.
I couldn't have said that better. You
Mhm.
sink into the beauty of life.
Yeah. I think that that's just you as a facilitator and that it's not just like this practice, you carry it with you. And so I'm happy to hear that you see it expanding. And if there's anything else, Chiquita, like as we kind of round out the interview that's coming to you that you feel is important to share with the audience, it can be, I think lots of times it's about, maybe a message that speaks to directly to a person or their influence on the collective or just what we as humans and souls are needing to know at this point in time.
You're not flawed. You're not flawed. You are loved and you deserve love, whether it's from yourself or others. You
Yeah.
deserve.
That's such
Yeah.
a beautiful
That,
delivery. Yeah.
yeah. We all just feel like we're just so flawed, right? Like we can't get it together. We don't, and everybody, we're always looking outside. The grass is always greener. No, that green is within you. It's within your heart. And
Mhm.
if you're having a hard time finding love for yourself, try Reiki.
Yes. And I
Thank you
know
so much.
you're so welcome. And I know that you mentioned that for Mystical Sisterhood listeners, getting $20 off a 60 or 90-minute service, just
Yeah.
mention the podcast checkout.
All you have to do is mention that you listen to the podcast and you'll get $20 off your session.
Yeah,
So
and when I share the episode, I'll put that on Instagram and put it in the show notes too. Thank you for being so generous with your time and your spirit and your love and everything that you're here to share. I love being with you.
me too. I love being with you and I'm so happy we got to reconnect. So
Yeah, me too. Thank you to the listener as always, and we will see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening to this episode of Mystical Sisterhood. To learn more about my one-on-one coaching programs or join the Mystical Sisterhood membership, visit MaureenSpielman.com or MysticalSisterhood.com. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next episode.